Welcome to this screencast in which we will discuss the enlargement of the European Union. As was previously discussed, one way of further integration of the EU is by enlargement. Enlargement means that new member states join the European integration project, which automatically results in a larger territory of the European Union. Whereas the European project started off with 6 states, the European Union today has 27 member states. In addition to the current 27 member states, there are 5 candidate countries and 2 potential candidate countries. We will now have a look at which these countries are. The candidate member states are in chronological order since their application for membership: Turkey, North Macedonia, Montenegro, Albania, and Serbia. The potential candidate member states are Bosnia-Herzegovina and Kosovo. This map shows the current member states in dark blue, the potential candidates in light blue, and the candidate countries in pink and orange. The distinction within the last category is made on the basis of whether the accession process of the candidate state has already started. For example, Serbia's accession negotiations already started in 2014, while North Macedonia and Albania only started negotiation talks in 2020. But what exactly is the difference between potential candidates and candidate countries? Potential candidate states are countries that have a clear prospect of joining the EU in the future, but that have not yet been granted candidate country status. With these countries, a particular agreement, called the Stability and Association Agreement, will be established to help them prepare the process for eventual EU membership. This type of agreement establishes a contractual relationship entailing mutual rights and obligations and covering a wide variety of sectors. When a country is ready, they can become an official candidate. All EU member states have to agree on this unanimously. Once they agree, member states' negotiations will initiate to determine the ability of the candidate country to implement and put EU legislation into national law. Candidate states must implement political, judicial, administrative, economic and other reforms to achieve this. The most important requirements are laid out in Article 49 of the Treaty on the European Union. These requirements are the so-called Copenhagen criteria, since they were defined in the June 1993 European Council meeting in Copenhagen. At the political level, countries must have stable institutions guaranteeing democracy, the rule of law, human rights, and respect for minorities. At the economical level, they must have a functioning market economy and the capacity to cope with competition and market forces in the EU. Lastly, on the administrative and institutional level, a candidate must have the capacity to adhere to the acquis communautaire. This means the country should implement the body of common rights and obligations that is binding on all EU member states and make EU law part of their own national legislation. Let's now briefly focus on the process of the accession negotiations. The 35 chapters of the acquis communautaire form the basis of the negotiations. These chapters correspond to the different areas of the acquis that form the rules that member states of the EU need to adhere to. The chapters are negotiated one by one, and a chapter will only be closed if every EU government is satisfied with the progress and the reforms of the candidate state in a certain field. This explains why the speed of the accession process can vary significantly between different countries. Moreover, it is the EU that reserves the right to decide when a candidate state is ready to join. In making this decision, it does not only look at whether all criteria are fulfilled, but it also takes into account the Union's capacity to absorb a new member. Once the whole negotiation process is concluded, an accession treaty with the country will be drafted. The candidate only becomes a full member when the treaty is ratified by every individual EU country. Until the ratification process is complete, the candidate has the status of an acceding country, benefiting from special arrangements.